Well, here we are, folks. We're all set for another 8-ball bar table world championship match. The room is about to go up any minute now, and it's going to be between Frankel and SemiPro, and it's a race to 11, and this is the hot seat match to see who gets to the final. These are the two strongest players in the tournament so far, because of course both of them are unbeaten up until now, so something has to give tonight. And it should be a very good match, expecting a high standard. Now, I streamed the match this morning between Tommy Yu and Acero. I think it was Acero. It's that long ago now. Now, everything was fine this morning apart from the fact that my broadcaster wasn't working properly, and I went back to Gamecaster, which I'm doing at the moment rather than taking any risks. But the outcome of the match this morning was that Acero beat Tommy Yu by 9 racks to 7, and Tommy Yu had a good lead in that match. And the only other thing that's happened since then is I've caught some sort of bug, so I've now got a streaming nose for some reason, which will probably interfere with my commentary. Now, for some reason, I'm not seeing the chat. I'm not seeing the chat in the game. Hang on a minute. Right, that's better. That's not better, it's not working, hang on. No, still not seeing it. This isn't working properly either. I'll get things to work yet. Right, that's it working now. Now I can see the chat on screen. So both players are in. We're about to lag off. And welcome to those in the chat, whoever's there. Good evening, Bav. I don't know who's got what cue here. Well, Frankel has won the lag, and he's breaking off. Race to 11. And the ball has gone in. Well, these balls aren't sitting very good. Certainly not for a run out. Work has to be done. Yeah, I feel pretty shitty now. A few hours ago, all of a sudden my nose just started to stream. Well, I started sneezing and just thought it was just, you know, just something irritating my nose, and then the next thing you know, as soon as I sit upright, my nose is streaming. So I've caught something in the last few hours. I'm just trying to fend it off. So Frankel's made his choice. He's on the solids. Well, the table's now wide open as far as the solids go. Frankel should take this out. This is the sort of standard we're looking for in this match. Presumably the 6 goes. I'm just going to check my little doodle works. And it does. And we should be good to go with that if we need it. So it's a break and run. First rack, lag won by Frankel. Ball in the break. And he's run out. He's done everything asked of him in this first rack. And it's 1-0. Well, anybody out there watching the match, if you're watching it in the stream, feel free to chat, because I can now read the chat. I've got it on my screen. Actually in the game, makes it a lot easier to see what's happening. So SemiPro has broke off in rack number 2, and he's had a ball in the break. And what sort of response are we going to get from him? Well, he's gone for the solids as well, and I think he tried to break out the 5 ball there. No joy though. Now, there is a possibility of trying to break the 5 out off this one, and he may well try and spin off the rail over this direction. He could try that. He's trying to go direct. I think he was actually too straight on it to actually do what I was pointing out there. So he's had one attempt to try and break the 5 out, and of course it's the same old problem. He's running out of balls to be able to do it, because he's not got the right angle in the 6, I don't think. He's got a slight angle. Well, he was trying to leave the tight cut down the rail in that 5 ball, and he's missed the 6. Well, this still isn't a clear-cut chance for Frankel to steal the rack, because he's got two sets of his balls either side of the table locked up. These are the problem balls here that he has to deal with if he's going to run out. And of course he's also got his safety net, which is the pink stripe ball in the top left hand corner, which is blocking the path for that 5 ball. Frankel, and that's a good shot, because he split 2 of the problem balls, and not only that, he has blocked any shot for SemiPro. Well, it's a good kick there from SemiPro, but he should have called a pocket there, even though he played it at that pace. Always best to call a pocket, because you never know what can happen. But he's left Frankel a shot, and Frankel's got the same problem yet. He's got these 2 sets on the left hand side to deal with, and he's trying to hide behind the 10, and that's pretty good. SemiPro can't get to it. That's not bad either. That's a pretty good response. Played it at such a pace not to get that cue ball running. And he's left Frankel nothing here. Although there is a possibility of a combo off the 13 ball. That would be a possibility. The combo into that pocket and knock the 14 in that way. But that's a bit aggressive. But the 9 ball and the 10 ball now go. And it could be an all or nothing shot if he went for it. But I don't think he's going to be tempted. Now, of course, Frankel is relying on the fact that that ball there is blocked. And it's blocked by the pink 12. But of course, if you can get this side of the 5, you can pot it down the rail if it comes to it, but it's still asking a lot to get there. Well, now the 14 ball I don't think can be potted. Well, it certainly can't because the 6 ball is blocking it in the bottom right hand corner, but I think it's awkward to get to the 14 now as well, next to that 8 ball. So now we're going to get a bit of, well, we've already had a bit of tactics, but this rack could take a few minutes to complete. I'm just going to be a second. I will be back in a second, folks. Right, we're back. So what have we missed? Well, SemiPro has now got a shot in the 5. And this is where the problem now lies. 8 ball locked up. Somebody's going to have to make a move. And it's Frankel strike balls that are guarding that 8 ball. And this is turning out to be an interesting rack because either player can't make a move until they're definitely sure that they can play the positive shot that's going to open up the table for them. So, foul. Just double checking it was a foul there. So ball in hand to Frankel. Now what can he do? He's going to have to either play a tight safety or play the shot that's going to pot a ball and break out this 8 if he's going to go for the run out. but he still looks reluctant to take the chance. I'm not really sure what he's thinking of doing here. Well, he's taking a risk in getting rid of the blocking ball there of SemiPro. Now, of course, that's not an illegal shot, but the visit of Frankel is now over and SemiPro is at the table. Now, of course, he could thin cut the 4, but he's got absolutely no chance of getting on the 8 ball. So now he's going to be in dire trouble in a second or two. Frankel's going to tie him up. Now would be a good time to try and break out the 8 if he was going to be really aggressive and try and still hide the cue ball, but the danger is he could leave a kick bank on this 4 ball. Well, Frankel has now gotten rid of SemiPro's last ball, and SemiPro can't get to the 8 ball, and that could be the crucial shot. But SemiPro, if he's got his wits about him, he'll probably do nothing to disturb this 8 ball a great deal, because if he does, Frankel will come in and run the table. He doesn't want to disturb this 8 ball too much. But if he lashes at it, he could pay the price. There's no harm done there. Now, I'm right in saying there is no 3 foul rule in this game. So ball in hand to Frankel. Now, I would like to think that Frankel's aware of the fact that there isn't a 3 foul rule, in which case, to keep just locking up SemiPro does himself and SemiPro no favours, and it doesn't advance the game. So something has to be done that is aggressive enough to open up this 8 ball. Now, SemiPro will be looking to kick this in off the rail. He can't get to it clean, but he can certainly get it off the rail. He just has to pick the point. And that middle pocket might just be a threat. Oh, he's managed to get it. So, in the end, it was a mistake by Frankel. He played the aggressive shot, and he didn't get the full cover. And SemiPro has stolen the rack, and that's a good rack to win. And Frankel, breaking off in rack number 3, has a ball on the break. Now, is that the other tin? That's not the Dutch tin that's in the chat. So, Frankel is taking his time, he's studying the table, and he's looking to see what the right move is to make here. So he's played that delicate with inside English to hold for this pink 12 ball. And now he's going to have to hit this fairly firm to get out and avoid blocking himself with a 6. He needs to nudge the 6 out the way. Well, he's just nudged it enough, I think, to see the 14. Oh, English tin, not Dutch tin. Now here's the problem ball for Frankel. He has to get the upper side of that 13 ball to take it into the middle or take it into this pocket. And he's got no good angle to do that. Now off the 10 ball, he has a slight angle. Now the thing is, can he squeeze up behind the 7 and 8? Or does he draw up the table in between the 7 and the 1? Well, he's gone between the 7 and the 1. And he's... Well, the slight problem with this shot is he's close to that top rail. And that's just hindering the shot he wants to play to get on the 8. So he's leaving it as a cutback. And this is not an easy shot. He's looking at a blind pocket here. And WizKid. I think that was the link I gave him. Now anybody who wants to join the chat and Twitch, you don't need to get the proper link. You just need to go to Twitch and type in 9ball.com. That'll bring up the channel anyway. So Frankel manages to get revenge in rack number 3. Now leading by 2 racks to 1. And SemiPro has a ball, but not a great table. Well, he's done his best there to free up the 8. He's certainly done that. And he's on the solids. Good evening, WizKid. Welcome to the stream. Now, the loser of this match tonight is going to be playing Acero over on the one-loss side final. And of course, the winner of this match goes through to the final. But I'll tell you something, whoever ends up playing Acero is not going to have an easy match. Acero earlier today was, I think, I'm trying to remember whether he was 6-2 behind or whatever, but anyway, in the end he won 9-7. And as I said during the stream, at the stage of the match that Acero was at, he needed some favours from Tommy Yu and he needed a bit of luck. And in the end, I think he got both. He got more help from Tommy Yu and managed to get back into the match. And Tommy Yu made some fatal errors at the wrong time in the match and it cost him dearly. But Tommy Yu had a good run in the tournament. I'm fairly well impressed by the way Tommy Yu played. In the end, Acero was the stronger-willed player. That's what won him the match. But he'll be a tough opponent for whoever ends up playing him at the end of this match. Anyway, back to the match. Frankel at the table. SemiPro misses the 4. Frankel on the stripes. And, well, I would say that Frankel is odds on here to open up a gap. And straight away he's down to deal with the isolated ball. Once he deals with the 10 ball, he can then concentrate on dealing with the remainder of these balls. Now these balls aren't cut and dried, because if you look at the 11 ball, that 11 ball isn't going past the 6 clean. The 9 ball is, and I don't think he's quite gone far enough for the 9. That looks very, very tight. Has he got enough on it? That is extremely tight. Well, in the end he can get through no problem. Well, it's very difficult to put your money on either player or the remaining players in this tournament, for the simple reason that they're all good at what they do on this table. They can all run tables, and it all hinges on the break. And that little bit of luck that you get, that's what makes a difference. Because a lot of these guys, if they get a ball in the break and these balls are lying good, they're going to run out. We all expect them to run out. And Frankel's got himself in trouble. But that's a good shot, but he's in even more trouble now because he hasn't come through far enough. Or has he? Oh, there's plenty of room. I'm looking at a weird angle. Yes, he's on it. I think my eyes are welling up as well with this bug that I've caught. Now this will just have to be a careful shot. That 1 ball all of a sudden doubles in size when you're trying to avoid it. So he's left himself a fairly straightforward 8. Managed to get there no problem. But crucially, it's going to be 3 racks to 1 in favour of Frankel. The thing about Frankel stroke Dizzle is that he's got good touch, and that's, I mean, it's blatantly obvious to me, and why it's not obvious to a lot of other guys that play this game is beyond me. The one thing you have to have in this game is touch, but the more important thing that allows you to do that is dialing your mouse in. Spending the time to get your mouse set up so that you're comfortable with the way of shot, and 95% of Virtual Pool 4 players don't do it. I've said it for years and years and years, that when you're setting up your game, the first thing you do is get yourself either online or offline, but get yourself in a room and just practice lagging off on a nine ball table. Or what I do is I practice breaking off on a snooker table and getting that cue ball to the baulk cushion more often than not. And if you judge your sensitivity in your mouse and you're confident in control of the pace of your shots with your mouse, then you're a far better player when it comes to actually being able to get the control and the pace of the shot that you're trying to do. And that's what Dizzle's got. That's what all the good players have in Virtual Pool 4. They've all got excellent control of the pace of their shots. That's half the battle, of course. You have to learn how to play certain shots. That's how you manage to run tables. When you can get that cue ball to do more or less what you want it to do, it makes the game much more easier. And Frankel with a 3-1 lead on the stripes. And it looks as if the 13 ball's going to be the last ball and leave him that 8 ball along the rail. That's if he can get there. Well, he should do now when he gets this 12 after the 14, or at least it should be that. He certainly doesn't want to be taking the pink stripe ball and trying to get across with the 8. That's a more awkward shot. And that is perfect because he can come up between the 8 and the 2. He can go that way and go over here, almost on the line. Now, this is finished slightly more of an angle than he would like. He's going to have to try and... He's got to be careful with this. He's got more of an angle on it than he would really like. And he's just going to have to dig in it and pinch the pocket slightly here. And that's what he's done. Just pinched it off the jaw, but he's now got a fairly straightforward 8 ball. Well, I'm telling you guys, it's the first thing I tell any player when they say, "Oh, what can I do to improve my game?" You have to spend the time. I mean, I spend hours just practicing a break-off shot. I've spent hours just lagging a ball up and down a table, and I keep tweaking the mouse. You have to get that sensitivity right. If you don't work with the sensitivity and also the pivot on your mouse, because you don't want to be, you don't want the mouse to be flicking the table round very, very quickly. Some players like that. I don't, because I'm convinced that any slight movement can affect the movement of your shot as well. As if you start flicking that mouse around the table, it's easy enough when you're drawing the mouse back to maybe even lift it off the mouse mat or off your table and just get some sort of deflection. Now, I'm paranoid as far as that goes, but it's all about spending time. And the other advice I've always given people is you watch how the best players play. And that's another way of learning. And the other thing as well is hopefully, if you're watching the stream and I explain some of the shots as I understand them, hopefully that helps in how to maybe execute a certain shot, like how to use draw with bottom English and left and right bottom English to get that cue ball to move in the right direction. All of these things are all part and parcel of making up a good arsenal to be able to play the game good. As long as you aspire to want to better yourself, then you'll get more enjoyment out of the game. So you will, but you need to start by learning and watching the better players and how they do it. Well, the thing is, there's all of the technique involved, but the other part of the game is playing wisely. That's another big thing that I talk about, is you have to play and have your wits about you every second that you're at the table. You have to be aware of the lay of the balls. You have to visualize shots and see in your mind where that cue ball's going to go. Think about where you can put that cue ball to make it the most difficult position for your opponent, because there's other ways of winning matches than just potting balls all the time. And one good way is by stopping your opponent potting balls. So SemiPro is now trailing by 4 racks to 1. He's on the solids. He's got an ugly table here. And we may well end up with a bit more tactical play where this 8 ball is, and we've got the pink stripe ball right next to the 8 ball on the right hand side of the table. We've got the 7 and the 2 very adjacent, and SemiPro has got little or no shot here other than trying to maybe kick the one in behind the 11 and just block the pocket, which is what he's done, but that's easily taken care of by Frankel. He'll probably just edge the 11 and nudge the one in. There's no harm done. Good evening, Simon. Well, ball in hand now to Frankel. Now, what does he do? He's got a perfect opportunity playing the angle off this 11 ball. He can move the cue ball to where he wants it. He can get that cue ball into those balls. He's got two choices of how he does it. He can do it off whatever ball he wants here, but if he has to win the rack, he has to be positive. And that's not worked out. He's freed up the pink stripe ball, but the 8 ball still locked up. And now, of course, the other problem is getting good on this pink stripe ball to make the split, and he's good now. He has to take that chance now and nudge this 8 ball out, nudge it free. Well, he's missed it. Well, that's a mistake. And the only thing that is saving Frankel here is the fact that the 8 ball is still tied up for the time being. But that's going to be taken care of straight away. SemiPro's still got to hold for that too. And it's gone wrong. And that is a disaster and a half. That's the worst place he could finish. And his chance is gone, and that's going to be a missed call. Well, he's past turn, but he could have used the missed call, but that's neither here nor there. He's given it back to Frankel. Well, call the middle pocket on the right hand side and give it a kick, or call the corner and give it a kick. And SemiPro knows that it's virtually impossible to get it safe, and he's staring 5-1 in the face here. And it's going to be a mighty mistake by Frankel that's going to prevent it from happening. Well, this is actually turning out to be similar to what happened earlier on today, in the sense that Acero had fallen out of the game earlier on in the match, with things not going quite right for him, and then the tide turned and he managed to get himself back into it and then went on to win the match. So SemiPro's in that position, but again, like earlier today, SemiPro's going to need a favour or two from Frankel. But this 8-ball for 5-1. Well, the break's dry. Now, I need to just change the colour of that chat text again. That's better. So SemiPro trailing 5-1 on the solids, and the immediate problem, as we can see, is getting from that 2-ball on the left hand rail, the bottom left hand corner here, back up for the 8, and this is going to be a test of cue ball control. Well, the nudge off the 13 has just pushed it too far, and this is tough, extremely tough. He's playing the draw to avoid the scratch into the corner, but that's a good shot, and he desperately needed that one. So the gap is back to 3. SemiPro has stolen the rack there, and he's breaking off in rack number 8, and he's got a couple of balls in the break. Now what does he go for? Because again, these balls aren't sitting bad. So, stripes it is. And he's got one stripe over the top right hand corner, the pink 12 ball, I think that is. And the 9 ball is behind the 8, so I don't know whether he's got enough angle just to drop between the 3 and the 4 and get that 9 ball right now. Well, I think it's hard to say, but maybe he played for that to find the gap on that 9 ball, but he's left it short. He's left it sort of nowhere. He's got the shot in the 14, or he's got the 15 over the middle. That's not the problem. And he needs to find a gap, and he's gone too far. Still got the emergency backup of the 15 ball, but again he's running out of chances to get on that 9 ball, because that's the one that's going to hold up the run out here. Now he can stun across, but has to find that small window to get on that 9 ball. I don't know whether he can run through that direction. He has to, well, he's chanced his arm. Let's have a look. Delicate little one in the 12. Now, he could try drawing onto the 3 ball. I don't know whether he can skip. I don't think he can skip past that 8 ball. He's maybe... Well, he's taken a risk. He's nudged it. And he's finished on it. That will do. And that's another good rack for SemiPro to win. And it's now 5-3. Break goes back to Frankel though. And once again, well, this time the 8 balls dropped. It will respot. And a couple other balls have gone in as well. So Frankel remains at the table. Still an open table. And we've got this problem over here with the 6 and the 14. Although we can see that the 6 cleanly goes down the rail. And if you can get on the 14, the 14 will go this way. Well, he's taken care of that problem because he's now split them. And the choice has been made. Frankel on the solids. Well, this is a tight cut, but he's played it well. Well, now the problem lies at the top end of the table. We can see the 2 behind the 9. The 5 goes past the 13, no problem. So this area is the problem, and that angle he has in the 5 is not great to hold on this 2, so he's just babying it in dead weight just to hold it. Now, can he avoid the 13 and get this cue ball out into the table? And he's overcut the 2. So again, the mistake by Frankel. And SemiPro has a chance here. And albeit not a simple one from where that 9 is. I think he tried to actually nudge something there. Because the 9 is very difficult to get on. Well, now I think, let's have a look. Well, he's got to cut the 10 and run down to the 9 and hope he gets lucky, because he's going to, at worst he's going to leave a combo, but the combo's not going to be that easy. I think if he can get clean through to the 11, he'll take the 11. He would have liked to have been able to get rid of the 9, but he's too low on it, so he's still got that problem to deal with. But this is now all of a sudden become a very important visit for SemiPro in terms of getting himself back into this match. So he called the combo, and now, well, he's not got a cut and dried 9 ball, but he would like to take this 9 ball where it is right now. But he's deciding on the 14, or is he? There's plenty of room to pot the 9. The angle that he's potting the 9 goes in, he can spin off the rail and come down, but he's trying to get dead weight onto the 9 and he's left it short. And that was always going to be the problem. You get one chance of getting there, and he's going to have to pull out a good cut here. Cue ball's got to be under control to leave himself a shot in the 8 as well, remember. And he's overdone it. And his chance is gone. And maybe he should have taken the 9 first there, because the 9 was a lot easier to pot, knowing full well that he was going to have the cue ball back down the table. The 9 into the pocket, the cue ball off there, side rail and back down would have taken care of the problem ball, and then he'd plenty of room to pot that ball, whatever one it was that was there, and get the cue ball up for the 8. So I think he should have taken the 9 there when he had that chance, because he'd a much better chance of the 9 from where he was than trying to get dead on it with one chance. That's putting all your eggs into one basket, and it's cost him the rack in the end. Excuse me, folks. This thing's taking hold of me, I think. But more important now, it's now 6-3 to Frankel. And that rack there, I think, that might have a big bearing in the overall outcome of this match, because I think if SemiPro had won that one, he'd have been breathing down Frankel's neck. But the break is dry. Oh no, there's one ball's went down, the 15's gone. So stripes, and the stripes look good. Well, that nudging a 5, and it's all gone wrong, and he's blocked out, and that's the difference between running the rack and having no shot. And now he's having to try and kick the 14 in off the rail, and he hasn't quite got there. But no immediate cause for alarm the way these balls are sitting. But now SemiPro locked up and can only kick. Well, he could try kicking in that 14. It's probably worth a call. He's got the gap there to do it. He's probably worth going for the kick on that 14. He's bound to be on another ball if he gets it. Let's have a look and see if he's got the angle here. Oh yeah, he's got the angle to get there. He can certainly play the kick. He's still got the hit in the ball, hit the rail. No major damage done. Now, there's a chance here for Frankel. If he pots that one, which he's lining up to do, I think, he could leave an angle in a 5 and go over here and split these. But the other issue is up here. These balls tied up. Once again, SemiPro. Well, you can certainly again play the combo. The SemiPro is maybe running out of patience here. He's made the move, and he's made the move to break out the 8-ball, played the deliberate foul, and Frankel now has ball in hand. And of course, Frankel's looking to play a positive shot because he's got 2 sets of balls locked up, and that was why SemiPro played the deliberate foul there, just to break the 8-ball out, because the likelihood of Frankel running this table as it is fairly slim. So SemiPro back at the table, on the stripes, a shot on the 9-ball down the rail, and in a way Frankel's putting pressure on SemiPro. He's conceded the table. SemiPro's got his chance to run out, and he just has to get on this pink stripe. Big gap to get into to get on it, but it's going to be from distance by the looks of it. Well, he's played the bank to get better position, but can he get on the 8, because he's getting entirely the wrong angle on this pink stripe. He's going to be running around, and he's going to have no shot in the 8-ball. Played it with lots of inside English. And now what does he do to hide the cue ball? Because the chances are he's going to be in trouble any second when Frankel gets back to the table. And SemiPro's relying on the fact that those 2 balls are still tied up, these 2 here. Now, what's he looking to do here? Well, he tried a kick bank. A kick, how do you call that? A kick double bank? But anyway, it was dangerous, that shot, because again with that shot, he was taking a risk playing it, because it was highly unlikely he was going to pot it. And the other problem is he could have easily broke out that 2 and 7 by playing that shot. And this is what I say about keeping your wits about you and thinking about what you're doing. Because as it is, he's still in this rack as long as those 2 balls remain locked up. But you don't want to do something silly and inadvertently break open the table for your opponent. So Frankel has played the shot, he's got the break, and now he's all set for the run out. Difficult to see where there's a problem here. Well, if he's going to play the 7-ball next, he has to leave an angle on it. And he's came off the rail, he's got the angle. And now he can do pretty much what he wants with the cue ball to get on either of these 2 remaining balls. So it's Frankel who opens up a 4-rack gap and goes to 7 racks to 3 in front. And he has the break in rack number 11. So the break was dry. SemiPro pots are solid, and he's now at the stage where he has to run out. He can't afford a mistake. Because look at the way these stripes are sitting. Any mistake by SemiPro and he's a goner in this rack. Now, possibly the 5, then the 1, little drawback. He's got plenty of room to get on the 1, but he has to deal with that 1 when he's got the best chance he can of getting on it. Well, he's overdone it. He's got too much juice on it. He's still got another chance. Let's look at that 1. No, he's overdone it. Far too strong. And he's way off the mark there. And I think SemiPro is feeling the pressure. He knew he had to make the most of that, but it all went wrong when he overhit that to get on the 1. And this is playing right into Frankel's hands, because these balls are now sitting pretty nigh perfect for him. And you can't see Frankel throwing away this chance. He's going to bang another nail into SemiPro's coffin if he can. He's just taking his time, studying the lay of the balls here and how he's going to run out. Is he going too straight in the 9? No, he's got a nice angle. He can drop behind the 10 off the 9. This is a problem ball here, this one. Well, that wasn't a great circle, was it? But that's the one that is more of a problem, in the sense he has to get below that ball to take it into that pocket, because it's not going past the 8, obviously. He's got to work out how to get there. Well, that hasn't worked out too well for Frankel. In the end, he's in no man's land. He's still got a shot here, though, on this 14, but this is not easy. And the cue ball is not going to be running into an ideal position for the next shot. He's going to brush off the 13 ball, and the chances are the cue ball's going over here somewhere, and he's going to have no shot unless he gets lucky in the 13. Good evening, Bedhead. Well, Frankel is on top, no doubt about that, and he's got lucky. He's finished on the 13. Now, there's no problem potting the 13. Now, how does that 15 ball look? Well, that goes past the 1. You can pinch it off the jaw. Well, he's trying to get behind the 12. He probably would have taken the 12 there, but I think he's got lucky. But if he plays the 15, he can't go on the 12, so he's in a bit of a dilemma here as to what to do. Potting the 15 isn't a problem, he can easily enough see it. But he's going to have to pull out a shot here to get anything on this 12 ball. And it's going to be the bank. And SemiPro has got his fingers crossed. And he's just hoping that Frankel misses the bank. And he's missed it. So here is SemiPro's lifeline. Now, can he run out? What's the angle he's got in the 1? Well, he's got the angle in the 1. Does he take the 2 and try and drop behind the 3, or does he use the angle he's got in the 1 to go on the 3 right now? Well, he's gone for the 3, and he's got plenty of room to get out and take that 2 ball into this middle pocket. Can come round off the 2 rails. In fact, the more I look at it there, the more awkward it looks. I don't think he can. He's going to have to... Oh, this is a big risk, having to try and kick this in now. I thought he could see enough of that 3 ball to look behind it. And now he's got a tough 2 ball. Well, this 2 ball, I think, is too risky to take long past that 8 ball. He's going to have to try and cut it into the middle. And that's a disaster. All from not getting right on that 3 ball. And that's... Well, it's hard to take if you're SemiPro, but that's the luck of the game. Just out of line and out of shape, and things go from bad to worse. And Frankel tidies up, and it's now 8-3. And he gets a ball in the break, SemiPro. Pressure stacked on him. And it's no miss. Now, that's the rule of the game for SemiPro. He just cannot afford to miss. Especially with that sort of break, because these balls, again, there's not one touching one another. They can all find pockets as long as you can get on them. But it's a tough ask now. Even if SemiPro wins his racks that he's breaking on, he's still going to lose the match, because there's nothing he can do about alternate break. That's why it's such a tough game to stay in the match when you go behind. So it's going to be the stripes for SemiPro. The 15 ball down at the bottom end, and he's well off the mark there, and he's knocked the 8 ball right into the middle of the table, and Frankel, like a predator, is ready to tear this rack apart here. Balls are sitting pretty damn good, apart from the 7 ball, which he's trying to just hold for, and he's perfect on it and can drop right behind the 5. Well, this is actually finished a wee bit straight. I think he would have liked a bit more of an angle on this 5. If he takes the 5, he's going to have to punch it in to get that cue ball moving. Well, he's made his mind up. It's looking like the long 2. How does he get in the 4? Does he run right through and leave a cut in the 4, or does he take the 1? Well, there's a big margin of error taking the 4 ball right now. He's got a shot on it. He's got to be on the 6 or the 1. He'd be extremely unlucky not to be in either. Wide open table. Well, now he is perfect. Stun the 1 in, use the angle off the rail and get out into the table far enough for a comfortable 6. Well, he could play the little draw off the 6 here, back into the heart of the table over on the left hand side, and that'll do it. So pretty much every mistake that SemiPro has made, he's been on the receiving end of punishment here from Frankel, and that's what's taken him to a 9-3 lead. Well, this time, however, the break is dry, and it's the same scenario every time SemiPro comes to the table. He's come to the table, it's a dry break, he has his choice of what ball set he wants to go for, and he has to run out. And the solids look okay, apart from that 3 ball. Let's have a look at the 3 ball. Does that go in? No, there's plenty of room there. You get 2 3 balls in past that pink stripe. And of course the other thing is when you're 9-3 down, you start seeing problems that aren't there. Any other time, if you're leading 9-3, you just pot these balls and you run out. But SemiPro's looking to get everything perfect and not make a mistake. And sometimes the harder you try not to make a mistake, the more likely you are going to make a mistake. Like here is not cut and dry. This is tight in the pocket. Got to get that cue ball out into the table for the 8, which he's managed to do. And this to hold back the tide, at least for one rack. And it's back to 9-4. And right about this point now, SemiPro breaking off. He's got the balls in the break. He's not going to have many options for his first shot. More than likely going to be... Well, can he see that 11 ball? Yes, he can. And the stripes look good. It's going to be stripes. No doubt about that. Well, he's got the emergency backup here of the 9 ball, and a little draw off this 9 ball, a little kill draw shot leaves him a choice of the 15 or the 10. But you've got to get through with the shot. You've got to play it with confidence. Now you see he's running through to the short side and leaving these across table. Now by playing the 15 ball, he's going to have a choice of this 10 or the 14. And I think he's gone a bit too far for comfort's sake in the 14 ball. Loads of inside English on that cue ball to avoid the 2, avoid blocking himself off. But this has got to be controlled as well. And again, he's overdone it. He's overcooked the shot in the 14. And this cue ball is just running across the 4 and the 1 here. He's used the 4. And he's landed pretty good on the 8. And, well, that's a big pocket where the 7 ball is. Down in the bottom left-hand corner. And in it goes. And it's back to 9-5. SemiPro still relying on a favour or 2 from Frankel here. Frankel gets 4 balls in the break, which is exactly what SemiPro wasn't wanting. And the 10 and the 7 are locked up. They're going nowhere as they are at the moment. Well, Frankel's got the plan already. It's going to have to be the 1 ball into the corner and break out the 7 from the 10. But he's missed the cut in the 6. The SemiPro has the same problem, but the shot he would have in the 12 is not a shot that's going to allow him to really get in and break up that 10 and 7. The other issues at the top end of the table, where the 5 and the 8 ball are locked up. And I think he's blocked out in this one ball. Let's have a look. Yep. What can SemiPro do here? I think he might be able to squeeze through and nudge this 10. I think he's got enough angle there. Well, maybe he didn't think so. But his chance is gone to get any split on this 10 and 7. But perhaps he wasn't worried so much about that from the fact the 8 ball's still locked up. Now that is a clever shot in one sense, because he's forcing Frankel into either freeing up the 8 ball or freeing up the 10 ball with his next shot. And Frankel just has to make the choice in what he's going to do here. He's now fully aware of what SemiPro was up to there. He's blocked him off with the 15 ball on the 1 ball. And I don't think there's an awful lot Frankel can do here to try and keep this 10 ball tight. He would need to pretty much roll the cue ball dead weight to the 7, so he doesn't disturb this a lot. That's what he's trying to do. Now, let's have a look at the 10. Well, the 10 now goes, and does it go past the 1? Oh, he can pinch that, no problem. Well, I think he overdone it. I think that would have went in. He could have sent that just to the jaw. Well, is Frankel brave enough to take the 7 and try and get a split on the 8 and the 5? He's not even looking at it. Chose to nudge in the 10. And now SemiPro is, well, he can certainly kick in the 14 ball, no doubt about that. He can do that off the jaw. But I don't think he can do anything with the cue ball there, can he? To actually try and nudge this 8 and get lucky and get on the 15? Highly unlikely. He's played the kick in the 15, so now SemiPro is in a position where his 2 remaining balls are blocking pockets. But the most important thing is that the 8 ball is still tied up, or at least it's tied up from the point of view that it doesn't go into this pocket. It certainly goes into the other pocket if you can get on it. And Frankel, meanwhile, has banked his... What was it? Was it the 5 ball? No, it was the 7 ball. Banked to 7 ball and freed up the corner pocket. And the 7 and the 5 are now the guardsmen of the 8 ball. And that's now gone all wrong for SemiPro. And he's had some bad breaks where he's scratched at the most important shot of the rack. And it's ball in hand to Frankel, who's now freed up the 8. And once again is going to steal this rack. Well, that's gone a bit straight. He might just roll this in dead weight and leave the 8 across the table. Oh, he's managed to pinch it and stun it out. But it's going to be 10-3 to Frankel. And Frankel needing just a 1 rack to move through to the final. Did I say 10-3? 10-5. I think these drugs are taking effect. So the break is right. As you would expect when the player's trailing 10-5. No luck in the break. No, as I was saying to the guys in the stream earlier this morning, I streamed the Acero Tommy U match at 8 AM my time, and everything was fine until a few hours later when I started sneezing, and then now since then my nose has started running, so I've caught some sort of bug during the day, and I'm now trying to fend it off with the usual concoction of anti-flu tablets and stuff like that. Or cold remedies, as you'd call them. So Frankel on the solids, and the one problem, if there's going to be a problem, is the 2 ball. He has to drop nice on this 2 to leave it dead into that right middle pocket. And this is going to be a nice little touch shot, but it's very tight into that middle pocket. Can get it in off the jaw. Unless he's going to try and do something elaborate, but no, he's just looking for it dead straight, and that is inch perfect on the 2. Just needs to pinch it off the jaw, and he'll leave the 8 into the opposite middle. And so it's Frankel who's gone all the way through to the final, and he wins the match by 11 racks to 5. And SemiPro on another day would have gotten the breaks the other way. A couple of mistakes, a little bit of bad luck, and that's the difference. And Frankel, I think, well, the mistakes that Frankel made, you could probably count in 3 fingers. Very strong performance and looking good, but SemiPro's going to have another bite at the cherry. SemiPro will move across to play Acero in the 1-loss final, race to 9, whenever that might be. We'll find out, hopefully. And you never know, there could be a rematch in the final, or there could be a Japanese player in the final. Acero will be a stiff opponent for SemiPro, and that remains to be seen. Hopefully I'll manage to get that match as well as the final. Until then, guys, thanks for your company, thanks for watching, and I will see you again sometime, and I'm going to go to my bed, and I'll bid you good night.